Okay, just waiting for Roger. Okay, good evening, everybody. The meeting was already called to order at 6:30, and the council went into closed session to discuss litigation matters with relation to affordable housing. So if I've done in the past, I'm going to restate the compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of this meeting was published in the official newspapers and prominently posted in Borough Hall and filed with the municipal clerk in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. Pledge of Allegiance. Can Chief Gangemi lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sir. Honor America. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we have a roll call, please, Laura?
Mayor Koth?
Here.
Mr. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Tashjian?
Here.
Mr. Kern?
Here.
Mr. Gullo?
Here.
Ms. Hare? Here. Mr. Banfield?
Here. Okay. So first on our agenda tonight is to pass the resolution 26-120, appointing Owen Joyce the position of patrolman and then swearing him in with the oath of office. So before we get on with the swearing in, I will quickly read 26-120, whereas the Public Safety Committee of the Borough of Oradell authorized a conditional offer of employment for police officer, whereas there were specifics that must be met in order to be appointed as a police officer, and whereas Chief Gangemi forwarded correspondence to the Borough Administrator stating that all conditions have been met and recommends the appointment. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Oradell that Owen Joyce is hereby appointed as a probationary police officer, subject to completing the Police Academy course issued by the New Jersey Police Training Commission, effective June 9th, 2026.
That's a typo. Yes.
At first-year salary guide of $40,000 prorated. We have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Koth?
I don't vote.
I'm sorry. Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Tashian?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Banfield?
Yes.
All right, so now that we've agreed to hire this fine young man, let's swear him in. Ted, you want to join me?
No problem.
How are you? I'm just going to go right behind this table. Raise your right hand. Cheat sheet here. You can repeat after me. I, Owen Joyce,
I, Owen Joyce,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the state of New Jersey,
and the state of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of the office of
all the duties of the office of
police officer for the Oradell Police Department,
police officer for the Oradell Police Department,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations, Owen.
Do you guys want to get in? Mom and Dad and family?
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Official act.
Here you go. All right, 1, 2, 3. Did a few. All good.
Thanks.
No problem.
Congratulations again. Welcome.
Owen,
Congratulations.
congratulations. Welcome aboard. See you. Congratulations. Always exciting, right?
Very exciting. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations.
Congrats, yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We're proud of you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is discussion. This is labeled New Jersey Transit Grant, but I think there's a little bit of a typo here. This is something else. I'm going to ask Dave to elaborate on this grant application that was on last meeting's agenda that we tabled to discuss tonight. Dave, can you just give us a broad overview of what the grant is, what we can use it for?
Sure.
What ideas may have been had and what ideas we maybe should consider for this?
Sure. So, ultimately, the DOT has a number of different grant opportunities that they offer throughout the year. Typically, we have our local aid or municipal aid grant application, which we primarily submit for our road improvements. This particular opportunity, it's a local transportation grant opportunity that's out there, which you can kind of use for different. It could be used for similar stuff to road improvements, but it's also designed to focus on enhancing, safety for pedestrians, for motorists, providing better visibility for everything, with focus in transit areas as well as, in your downtown and different things of that nature. I think initially when it was approached to the governing body, there was discussion of, enhancements above and beyond what I think anybody ever really envisioned for around the New Jersey Transit train station, where we were going to expand into areas where we have open space today. And really, ultimately, I don't think we want to go down that avenue. There's a lot of history in those locations and a lot of enjoyment from the community for recreation stuff. So ultimately, what we're kind of looking to do is, enhance that area, because today it's, there's a lot of congestion from people coming to the train station, whether it's they're being dropped off, picked up, people getting off, going to the parking lots. We want to look to try to enhance that area, make things safer for everybody. So ultimately, for this grant, we would potentially look to realign some of the intersections there. I think the mayor might even have mentioned that at our last meeting about looking at some of the intersections there to align Maple with Veldran a little bit better so it's not off-skewed. Usually when you have that type of intersection, it just makes it a lot more confusing for the motorists, but also, you have to contend with the pedestrians in there. So as part of this grant application, we would look to make enhancements as far as the intersections, as well as, incorporate different safety measures for pedestrians to make it safer, more visible for everybody.
So, Dave, could one of the things this grant be used for are pedestrian safety-related improvements anywhere in the borough?
They could be used elsewhere too. It doesn't strictly have to be in here. So I know we have issues obviously on Kinderkamak Road and concerns with that, and obviously that adds an added element because we have to work with the county because it's their roadway. But generally speaking, as long as there's good sound engineering judgment and you work with the county, usually they cooperate with the local municipalities on that. So there's things that could be done for that as well. But ultimately, it's similar guidelines and process that you do for your municipal aid grant application. So it's really, developing a engineer's cost estimate for the project, what you envision the cost will be, site photos, your traffic data and pedestrian data and all that type of stuff. Right. And ultimately, what happens is it'll go to the local aid office. They have a whole committee who reviews them and they score everything. It is a little more competitive than your municipal aid grant application. So you may submit, you may not get it this year. Maybe you submit the follow-up year, and you get, you may eventually get the funds for it. I know in years past we did submit for a similar grant, but it was through the local aid infrastructure fund. That was the monies that we got to redo Prospect and the sidewalk area, which that'll get addressed this summer. And same with Grant. That was part of that grant opportunity where the borough received $675,000 to take care of that project, which, your local aid project, typically it's, anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000. So the opportunities and the funding that you get from these particular sources are much higher. It's to help with unforeseen and different things to enhance safety throughout the borough.
So what do you think the max amount that could be awarded under this grant might be?
Listen, I've seen I mean, some of the examples they had were like $2.5, $2.6 million
okay.
for some of the grants.
So substantial.
So yeah, it's substantial. So even if, I don't know, I mean, you could look I know there's discussion about like your streetscape and that type of stuff. That might be something to look into as an opportunity to seek funding for something like that.
Right. So I think it's safe to say, based on the discussion we had at the last meeting, that there is zero interest on creating a new parking lot on the current area where kids lay down the embankment by the train station. So, I mean, the purpose of our discussion tonight is perhaps to come up with some ideas or leave here tonight thinking about some ideas. We have until the 30th to apply for this grant, which means we would have a resolution on our meeting on the 23rd endorsing whatever it is we want to apply for. To Dave's point, we do have a local aid grant already for repaving of Veldren Avenue. This could perhaps help with that realignment. We could look to say, let's do a pedestrian safety focused type of initiative in improving the Kinderkamak corridor, since we know that that's been a concern with relation to lighting, whether or not we neck down some of the intersections with the bump outs for crossing so that we shorten the distance across the street. So I think that might be something we could consider, and floor is open if anybody has any other thoughts.
Yeah, just have a question. Maybe we can use it perhaps for like pedestrian elevated ramps from one place to the next.
When you say elevated ramps,
Elevated ramps, like maybe over a walkway, or maybe over the rail line or something like that, where there's an elevated.
You mean a bridge?
A bridge, yes.
You could. I'd rather see you use your money elsewhere, because a bridge it's gonna get very costly.
Right.
The other constraint gets into, you have to make that ADA compliant, which means you got to go over that area and you got to get a ramp up in there, so you're gonna have a bunch of switchbacks. I think that would get extremely costly very quickly.
Okay.
I'd rather see you spend the money maybe on doing bump outs along Kinderkamak Road to shorten up the distance that the pedestrian has to, go across Kinderkamak, but also by doing that gets the pedestrian, it provides them better visibility for themselves as well as also the motorists, because I think that's some of your issue on Kinderkamak Road today is sometimes you don't necessarily see the pedestrian waiting at the crosswalk because they're not there. So that may be a better approach as opposed to putting, a bridge in over there.
Thanks.
Dave, specific to Kinderkamak, though, in the theory of doing the bump outs, obviously the cost is covered by the borough, but it's still a county road. With your experience, just in general, let's just take the bump out as the concept. Is the county pretty good about, pushing those through with local towns, even though it's their road from a safety perspective? What's your experience been?
Yeah, I mean, the borough itself, I think years back, well, probably 20, 30 years ago, maybe, somewhere in that time period, the whole parking and everything was reworked, and I think the borough worked with the county on that, where they put that center median area in and eliminated some of the parking and made it to what it is. So will the county work with the local community? Sure.
Okay. Especially from a safety perspective, I'm just thinking it's probably more attractive.
Yeah. I mean, it comes with challenges, obviously, because when you put those bump outs, then, the water's typically designed to flow along your curb line. Now you have a bump out there, so you have to figure out how to work through that to make sure that the water's not getting trapped. But
okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps it would be an opportunity to incorporate some of the ideas that Safer Streets had proposed.
For sure.
I don't have a specific thing in mind, but they'd certainly looked at, Oradell and Grant. As we know, that's a trouble spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's opportunities all throughout the borough. And listen, even if you come up with something now and maybe in the future, I mean, the grant, it's kind of a rolling grant. It's open all throughout the year. This time of year, they do provide a cutoff time period for it. And I've had it where we assumed we weren't getting the monies, and we were figuring out our road program, and we threw the roads in, and all of a sudden, as soon as we finalized our list, the DOT came and said, hey, we're going to give you money for this, this, and this. And it was like $1.1 million of funds that they gave us. So it was a nice surprise. Then we pulled that out, but then the side bar on it, the residents were expecting to get the road done, and they had to wait a whole nother year. But
I love your idea of alignment. I think that's really, especially down by the train station, you know, people are going this way and that
there's a
way.
lot going on over there.
And
so.
the other places by the library and, you know, where there's a driveway on the east side of Kinderkamak and the road doesn't really align. And so people are kind of running across even though there isn't a crossing. And it's very, you know, there's a lot of crossing there that is not legally done and dangerous.
Right. I mean, on Kinderkamak, obviously the best approach is to have it so that they cross at a controlled intersection where there's signals. So that's why you don't see it in some of those locations, because then it's...
Yeah, but I think I think we also have to deal with the reality. A lot of people are crossing by the library and by the church there and sort of dashing this way and that. And so figuring out an easy alignment so that there's a clear crossing pathway instead of people going at angles would be marvelous, you know.
Yep, for sure.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, just I know what you're talking about on Kinderkamak. People need to cross where there's crosswalks. There are not crosswalks at certain intersections for a reason.
I agree.
You can't have a crosswalk at every intersection. Traffic will never move.
Right.
But the biggest problem since I've been here has been that road that sort of dead ends at Kinderkamak, and across the way there's some stores and then there's a driveway, and it's the library and the church there, and people cross there all the time. Nobody walks down to the corner or nobody goes up the other way. And I'm not sure what the answer is, but I certainly don't want to see our good Oradell citizens lying prone on that corner. So we need to find a way to get people either, as you said, I agree, they should be crossing at crosswalks, but then we have to find a way to facilitate that. So that's a clear, easy path.
Yeah, again, typically, and I'm sure if we had discussions with the county, they want to, especially on a county road, given how busy it is, you know, you want to try to push the people to cross at the intersections with traffic lights. It's just safer in general.
Totally agree.
Unfortunately, I think the way the state law is written, you know, every intersection has a crosswalk, even if it's not a defined crosswalk.
Right. Yeah, and that's the problem
If it's
there.
heavily used, then, you know, then we need to talk about it and see about, you know, what can be done to make it so that it's safer and official from that standpoint.
So citizens, dear citizens, currently follow the law, find a crosswalk. Don't risk your lives, because we all hold our breaths when we see people dashing. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate that comment.
So, Dave, what do you need by the 30th? Obviously, it's something that we want to do. Is it just a concept, or do you need no okay from the county, or do you need a plan, or?
So we don't necessarily need a physical paper plan.
We want just a broad.
Yeah. So if we're going to do something on the county road, a discussion needs to be had with the county.
Prior to submitting the application.
Something for it.
So that's
if we don't have their endorsement for it, then there's really no point in submitting that and wasting your opportunity on that when you could focus on something else that may be more.
Yes, I mean, I would think that would be job one, is to get the county's buy-in. We're looking at this corridor in this downtown district, whether it's at Park or Center Street. You know, improve that and.
Yeah, so that's step one, and then assuming we get their buy-in on everything for that, then it's really just putting a cost estimate. So ultimately, like our office would sit down and kind of envision what we would be looking to put there. We wouldn't necessarily put a plan together, but kind of roughly draw something out in our minds or on paper, just so we have it to base our costs on it. So we factor everything in. So we're requesting something that's realistic. And then from there, it's you know, images of the site showing the issues at large, and then as part of it, we have to incorporate all the traffic data, right away with sidewalks, curbs, like all the data that's needed for that, and then a write-up of what we're proposing to do.
Yeah, either bump outs or raised medians You see that in some town. I don't know if that's too
Yeah,
much of an ask in the
I don't
downtown.
know if you'll get the support from the county on that because those become an issue for snow, and it also poses an issue with stormwater as well.
Yeah.
Similar to the bump outs, but those become a little more problematic.
Yeah, okay.
And with the follow-up, who communicates with the county on this? Does the mayor do that, or do you do that?
Be a tag team between myself,
It does?
the administrator,
it.
the mayor.
Okay. Go for it.
So why don't we, having heard us, why don't we let the staff come up with a concept to circulate to the council to make sure that we're comfortable with the direction they're heading, and then they can have that conversation with the relevant folks they need endorsements from, and hopefully be able to have a resolution on our meeting for the 23rd authorizing the application of the grant for the final project, whatever it comes out to be.
Just like to see us think a little more out of the box and where the opportunity lies, and I just feel like that's rudimentary, and let's try to be creative. And
You have something in mind?
I don't know. I like the idea of realigning
Veldrin
and Maple there, and then doing some very creative crossing program with lighting, and maybe you get the LEDs in the street. You got an opportunity now. Let's
And we can take, you could ultimately take from the railroad tracks, work your way up Oradell, and then wrap it going south down Kinderkamak through your downtown corridor. Maybe take it down just past like Jay's Pharmacy or something, incorporate it from there, unless you guys want to go further.
It just seems
That's
to me
probably a good starting point.
there's unique things out there that we can do to make Oradell be different and not really extremely high cost. We know we have a lighting issue down there. We know we have a crossing issue. I've seen so many very impressive, and especially in Europe, like LED walkways, and and if it truly proves out, it's something we can continue on all of our walkways. So
You just have to be careful though with some of those things, because it'll give the pedestrian like a false sense of security, which you don't want to do either.
That's the problem right now with the law that says if you're in the crosswalk, you have the right of way. That's the problem. So too many times I've seen people step in the walkway and never even look because they think they're protected.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
All right, very good dialogue. Next on the agenda is old business. Is there any old business to come before the council? If not, do we have any new business to come before the council?
I'm sorry, Mayor, old business, just a reminder, this Sunday is the Arts Festival and the Veterans Parking Lot, so it should be a great day from 11 to 4, I think, and it's a great community event just to come out. It looks like good weather. That's good, so it's a wonderful day.
Thank you. Anyone else for new business? If not, Laura, can you please read the correspondence into the record?
Email regarding signage on Leonard Young Drive, a letter from resident on Corbett Place regarding paving, and a letter in the backup documents from Chief Gangemi regarding the Oradell Police shoulder patch.
Okay. Next, I'd ask for a motion to open to the public for non-agenda items.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, each speaker shall have one turn and not exceed 5 minutes. Please identify yourself at the microphone and remain courteous. It's for non-agenda items.
This plan that you're going to have by the train station seems a good idea to align the Maple Avenue. But I still don't want to see anything happening with the sleigh riding for the kids in that area. I don't want to lose that. So make sure we don't lose that. Someone who wrote 2610, to me, must be delusional or had too many free drinks. When we bundle an ordinance and establish establishing a joint planning board and amending Chapter 105 entitled Public Advocate or for Zoning Board of Adjustment, Chapter 240 entitled Land Development, and Chapter 270 entitled Trees, all in the same ordinance. I don't think that's right. Each and every one is separate, and I'm calling for a total reading of this ordinance in detail. I would like to read this ordinance. I didn't see anything on the internet posted that it would explain it. This cannot be considered an ordinance properly produced and proposed. If it is, we might as well disregard 26.8 and 26.9 and add them to 26.10. So who wrote this ordinance, and why should it encompass all of these items? Give the people of our town a break. Remove and pull this ordinance tonight from the agenda. On another topic, why has the town been procrastinating on the 25 mile per hour speed limit for the entire B1 zone? No proper paperwork has been received at the county and to our police chief. What and who is opposing this and delaying the inevitable? It is a disregard for the safety of our citizens and people that come to our town. River Edge meeting is going to be tomorrow night, and I'm going there. The council and the mayor of River Edge. I will be asking them that the 30 mile per hour speed limit be reduced to 25 miles per hour starting at the River Edge post office, going north to Oradell border and B1 B1 zone of 25 miles per hour. Through the entire B1 zone, there are too many turns and traffic items and businesses to deal with in delivering and driving through the area. Now, it seems to me also that our planning board has woken up from a Rip Van Winkle sleep of 18 years and is going to review our master plan, suggesting by our planner on streetscape, building materials, businesses, requirements of windows, storefronts, and that's great news. Planning board acting as a planning board and doing their job in keeping our town looking good. However, it's too late for building that will stick out and represent our town at the Bank of America site. I saw some soil boring going on at the north end of the parking lot this week. Now, I'm still waiting on an answer. I'd like to hear somebody that has the information about artificial intelligence and that Granicus agency and how it will save money for our town. I want to know that. I want to make sure that we're going to save money using these people. And waiting on the mayor and council and board of health department to advise as to what, if anything, is being done on the 101 combinations of forever chemicals in our drinking water. So I'd like to some answers on this. Somebody's got to do something. Maybe the Board of Health can get into this and see if they can find out what Veolia is doing. Now the flashing lights now working at present by the Aura. They're finally working. So we crossed the street the other night when we had that presentation. So thank you so much, and I hope I can get some answers, and I hope you don't feel offended, but I feel that we haven't been given the right information on this 2610, and the public doesn't know anything about it, and there's no explanation. And there should be an explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sam Tripsis, 327 Maple Avenue. You talked about a study of Kinderkamak Road. That was in 2006. And we had it upstairs. There was a meeting, and all the recommendations were made to the county. And one of the big ones was the traffic calming devices, and that, which what we have is the cheapest version of that. That's the center median, and that's just pavement painted on. But it was suggested that we put a center median in there that's raised. So I think that would be a good solution. It would cost more money, but the bump outs, I don't know that would be so great. You know, I've heard people say bringing the road closer to the sidewalk closer to the other side, but I think that would cause a hazard for when you have snow. You know, I know they have that in New Milford by I guess it's by the Chinese restaurant there, and or the breakfast store. If you're not watching, you can turn into those things and hit them. So it might increase accidents. So, but anyway, I have a copy of that report, and it's if you don't have it, it's in my database. Second is, what's the rule on an ordinance if it's not posted, and it's on the agenda, but it didn't get posted? I just have a copy of it. It's 12 pages. I just got a copy from our borough clerk, Laura Lyons. What is the rule about having that tabled, or can it be discussed and not voted on? Because it's here to be voted on.
It's only introduced tonight, Sam.
Okay.
There's a public hearing and discussion at the next meeting.
That I understand. You got 3 readings, correct?
Right. 2.
Is it 2?
2, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
But basically, you're going to have a vote, correct?
We vote to introduce it by title only.
All right. Well,
That's not adoption. That's
correct.
Say that again.
That's not adopting it.
Okay.
Starts a process of public dialogue.
I understand, but I'm just wondering if you give the public time to look at it, that would be the way to do it, but not by maybe discussing it.
Any comments the public would make would come at the next meeting when we have the public hearing. We'd never entertain the comments. It only gets introduced when it's at the first reading. So I hear what you're saying, and there is ample time to do that at the next meeting. It's not a one meeting deal.
Okay. All right. Now, should this have been posted?
So, Mr. Bailey, if I could just interject here. So, first reading is what they call by title only.
Mm-hmm.
So, theoretically, I could just read the title, and there could be no document even in front of the mayor and council or on a bulletin board. It just so happens we did get the copy today, and it should have been put up on the bulletin board. But it's not a requirement. It can be read literally by title only for the first reading. Then we would have to have the actual document advertised 7 days prior to the public hearing. So in theory, it could be read by title, and I could not theoretically have it for even a few days before it's even sent to the newspaper. So under the law, the borough's still compliant. Mr. Bailey can...
That's correct. Yeah, that's compliant with the Open Public Meetings Act and the procedure articulated in law for how you adopt ordinances.
Right. So to answer your question, we are compliant tonight.
You
that
are.
Even though it wasn't on the bulletin board, we have it. It can be read by title only, and it's up there now and for everybody.
That was my question, because I've looked all day for it,
Yep.
and it's not there
There's
now.
sometimes in some instances where you don't even have the ordinance, we just have the title. And it doesn't happen very often, but it's allowable under the law.
All right.
So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Good evening. I'm Mary Margaret Carter. I live at 767 Park Avenue. It's at the dead-end part of Park across from the woods. During the week of May 17th, members of the DPW came and installed no parking anytime signs on the front side of our houses along our entire block. I called the DPW to see who authorized the action. They told me the police had directed them to do it, and I should call the traffic department at the police station. They, in turn, told me they were directed by the mayor and council, and it was based on an ordinance from 2004, 22 years ago. My neighbors and I feel this action is not appropriate. If we are parking in front of our houses, we would normally park facing east, since that is our only egress. Any guests we have are now required to park across the street from our homes. If anyone comes with a passenger, that person must now exit the car on the wood side right into the brush area and where there is no sidewalk. I feel this is definitely an inconvenience to our guests and therefore also to the residents. Perhaps you thought that our rationale is that maybe you thought it had to do with parking for Aura, but it does seem very unlikely that a valet would park that far from the restaurant. Parking for sporting events, concerts, or other activities might stretch down to the brook. So far, that has not been an issue and would be only temporary, if at all. In the past, emergency no parking signs were placed when a large crowd was expected, but they were just a paper sign that was put up and then removed. Another possibility is that if parking is allowed on both sides of the street, any emergency vehicle would have trouble getting through. I've been at this address longer than any of you has been alive. 86 years, to be exact. In all that time, I only remember one time when the line of cars lasted all day. And that was in the 60s or 70s, and there was a gas shortage, and people were in line for the few gallons they could get on Kinderkamak Road. Except for the three houses closest to Prospect Avenue, it's numbers 715, 725, and 731, those residents would probably welcome a no parking sign because of all the parking for the athletic events. The rest of the street really doesn't need any limitations. If you feel such signs are necessary, we would all prefer that they be on the wood side of the street. I hope you will consider removing or moving the signs, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention, Mrs. Carter.
Hi. My name is Maria Carboletta. I live on 353 Grant Avenue. I'm neighbors with Grant Park. And my husband and I are having a bit of an issue with the park. For many years, we've been there for over 10 years, and this is our third window being broken. Our siding on the side is broken, and the summer hasn't even started, and that box you see there is already full of baseballs that have landed on our home and our backyard, hitting the house. So we're here to see if the town could help us find a solution. We're not asking for the park to close down. We have 3 sons and we need the park. But is there any way? We already put trees up. We spent so much money putting 56 pine trees up, so at least some of the balls don't come in. And it's really not. Now we have people practicing golf, so now we get golf balls also. And our danger and our worry is that once we're in our backyard, the balls come flying in and our kids are there, or if we have guests or we eating outside, it's really dangerous. And so we just wanted, I called the police. They told me they can't really do anything. Their kids playing around. But it's really not the Little League that it's doing. It's just, we think it's after the older kids, when they go play baseball, they use bats and they, just hit the balls. And since our house is actually the closest to the park, all the windows just get really broken and siding and everything. But we understand that our worry is just being in the backyard and one of us, our children or, our friends or whatever, really getting hurt. So that was I don't know if the town could help us, or I don't know what else to do to help.
We'll certainly look into the matter with you and try and find a solution.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name's Dan Levinson. It's nice to see you, Mr. Banfield. I'd like to say that I live at 448 Grove Street and have for the past 3 decades, but I think it's only partially technically true. Some images I might want to show you a little later. But I did want to talk about traffic violence and car collisions, especially given that I was here last month and in the middle of our meeting, as you may remember, there was a crash right across the street so loud that we all had to, at least 2 of us went and attended to it. I'm trying to get more involved in politics. I'd like to run for Congress in 2028. And my main issue is healthcare. And that's largely because I was hit by a car on Labor Day 2017. I was living in Brooklyn at the time. I was training for the New York City Marathon. I was in a crosswalk. And I was struck so hard that I went flying about 30 feet and broke about a dozen bones. Sorry, I'm not used to public speaking like this. Broke 3 ribs, 3 vertebrae, my left pinky, and my right humerus was shattered in multiple places. It is now partially titanium. I've since had a partial shoulder replacement after having a plate and 9 pins put in. I'm about to have a full reverse shoulder replacement. The reason why I bring this up is because, as every single issue item that we've discussed tonight has been about cars, other than the baseballs over there, we really do need some sort of traffic reform. I was compensated $75,000 for a lifetime of disability. In fact, one of the reasons why I'm so shook up right now is because I just got a letter earlier today denying me, from the Social Security office, denying me disability benefits. I speak as someone who has survived catastrophic injuries and a catastrophic crash. Once something like this happens, unless you have private insurance, unless you have a family to support you, you really have no one. And it's so easy to go homeless, it's so easy to go without a meal, and it's so easy to go without the proper health care. And I think we need something sort of akin to the VA for people who have been hit by cars, because there's no one to tell you, oh, you need a private attorney, or you shouldn't just accept the insurance check that comes in, because they're not going to give you something that's going to cover you for the rest of your life. I need more help. But physically, I can't move my arm properly. I can't sleep at night. And psychologically, I'm on state Medicaid. I'm not getting unable to get continuity of care with my orthopedic surgeon. I'm unable to see the same pain specialist. I'm unable to see psychologists, same psychiatrist. It's been crazy. And you can't get the medical records from one hospital to the next because they're on different systems. So I'm glad that there is a lot of conversation. Just in summation, sorry, just checking the time, but I'm glad that there is a lot of conversation about traffic reform and about getting crosswalks in and preventing this from happening, because once it does happen, there's no going back. A life is forever changed, ambitions curtailed, potential. I don't know, I'd like to think I still have my potential. I'm sorry. But this is a really serious issue. And people, we really need to focus on this, because the cars are getting bigger, and there are 40,000 deaths annually in the United States. And I think, what was it, $457 billion in medical costs that are associated with car crashes. So please take these vehicular issues very seriously. I'm sorry I wasn't as articulate as I'd like to have been. I have photos of me before and after the crash. Thank you.
Thank you. I know I spoke, this will take 5 seconds, I forgot to mention this, please. All right, about the train station, and enhancing that area through grants. At the turn of the century, that
that grass area where the kids sleigh ride was just a deep hole in the ground, and people wanted a park. And they fought hard to get that. Took several years to fill it in. They took debris from Kinderkamak Road, and they used that to make it what it is today. So, if you wanted to enhance it, maybe you throw some picnic tables like they had years ago, and make it more usable for not just commuters but for people to go. I saw pictures of art shows they had down there too, around 1969, 1970. So, but anyway, that's important to the residents of the town for recreational use. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Ori Katzen, the green and flowering Laurel Drive. How's your street looking? Good evening, Council. Just heard the beautiful, touching comments from a resident here. About a year and a half ago, I stood in front of the council and I was willing to donate 2 blinking pedestrian crossing solar sign to the town, each one at $1,500. And I had them, and no one from the council, from the town, ever came over and or even told me that you're interested. So it's nice to go and spend $1,500 each sign off the budget, but when a resident offers you those for free, take it. So you didn't accept it, and I waited for about 2 months. Then I contacted Diane DiPaolo, the nice mayor of Emerson, and she said, Ori, bring them over tomorrow. Okay, at that time, because it was 2 months, there was a part that I somehow I could not find together, and I told her I'll find that. About 2 or 3 weeks later, we had the changes of police chiefs. And I invited Chief Ganjemi to my house, and he gladly accepted those signs, and he said he'll put them up, he'll speak to the DPW, and he'll put those 2 signs up. That was over a year ago. Chief Ganjemi has 2 LED blinking signs, says pedestrian crossing, solar, no need any wiring or anything. They blink in 24 hours a day, and it could help. I'm not saying it would prevent crashes, but it would at least be another signal to the drivers that there's a sign and there's a crosswalk. And I don't know if Chief Ganjemi is not interested in those. Mayor DiPaolo is going to be glad to put him on Kinderkamak Road in Emerson. So I'll give him a few more weeks to take care of that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is I heard updates that the ordinance for the honorary sign is coming up soon. And I really want to congratulate, things take time, but if that is going to happen soon, obviously we miss Sergeant Solina's tragic accident 3rd anniversary, and we missed the date that I suggested, the Memorial Day. But hopefully in the next few months, it will happen. I really hope that. As I said, I will be the first one to put an application to honor Sergeant Salinas, because he was not yet honored properly, and I think it would be nice to put a nice sign for him. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Administrators. My name's Marty Joyce. I also live on Park Avenue. I live at 757 Park. I've lived there 7 years. I hope to live there 86 years like Mrs. Carter. But I'm just also bringing it to everyone's attention. It seems like an ordinance was passed about 2 decades ago about no parking on Park Avenue. It's a very quiet street. A couple of times of the year, it's used for parking for maybe soccer events, maybe field day. You have parents park there. and a few other events for a couple hours a day, and that's only maybe 1 or 2 times a month. But since the no parking signs have come in, it's not only an inconvenience, but like as Mrs. Carter says, half our block are elderly, and now they're forced to park across the street, and they're exiting into a wooded area. So now, as opposed to if they could exit on the same side of the street where the houses are, at least they would exit to a sidewalk, and it'd be a lot safer than it is now. So again, I think it's a good testament that it's passed over 2 decades ago, and no one even noticed that we didn't need those signs. So the signs have appeared, and I understand that an ordinance was passed. We have to probably visit why it was passed, but see if those needs are still in effect today. Because for the people who live on that block, it's an inconvenience, but it's also a very big safety issue. And for something, I can understand there's a lot of cars parked there, but I've been there 7 years, and maybe in the 7 years, there's only been 2 or 3 times when someone's been parked on my side of the street and the other side of the street. It does happen down closer to Prospect. But again, you're only talking about a couple hours a day, a few times a month. So I'd just like you to maybe revisit that ordinance and see if it's still necessary. And if it's necessary, obviously, we'll keep it in effect. But I've been there 7 years, and I haven't seen a need for it. And Mrs. Carter's been there 86 years, and as she can say, she knows better than anybody. So just thank you for your time and consideration.
So, Marty, I have to put a little humor on this, People accuse government of not working fast, right? But 22 years, I think, takes us to a whole another level.
Yeah,
so you should rest assured it had nothing to do with Aura because it was 20 years pre-Aura. But we appreciate you bringing this to our attention. Yeah. We will get to the bottom of it, and we will get it straightened out.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you both. Anyone else for public comment on non-agenda items? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close to the public for non-agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, then we'll do a motion to open for consent agenda items only.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, floor is open for the consent agenda.
Well, it's in this 50 Beverly Road. I just want to bring to your attention Resolution 26-128. I think there's a typo when I read it on the internet. It says $25 per hour, and then there's a dollar sign, and it says $26. I think you should
It's
take a look
supposed to
at
be
it.
26 hours per week. Yeah.
26 hours per week, not $26, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. On the ordinances, I don't know if I'm allowed to speak on that.
This is consent agenda, Paul.
Pardon me?
Consent agenda only.
Okay. Okay. Are we going to speak at all about ordinances at all tonight?
Just being introduced by title only tonight. The speaking will occur at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else for consent agenda items? Not, I'll entertain a motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next on the agenda is the approval of the consent agenda for Resolution 26-121 through 26-131. Does any member of the council have any questions on a resolution or wish to pull a resolution for separate vote?
Yes, Your Honor. I just have a question because it appears that there are 2 resolutions, 26-129. Are they meant to be inclusive? One is a list of salaries. The other is the award, the 3.25% increase, and the other 3%. Is that considered one whole?
No. So the resolution that was in your packet was replaced by the one you have that speaks about the cost of living increase for non-union staff.
Okay, so the salary one is
That's garbage.
Out.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda resolutions 26-121 through 26-131.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Tachian?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Sarah?
Yes.
Mr. Banfield?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Next on the agenda is the introduction of ordinances. Mr. Kern.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance number 26-8 is ready for first reading.
Will the Borough Clerk read ordinance number 26-8 by title only?
An ordinance of the Borough of Oradell establishing the title of Recreation Supervisor.
I guess I'll provide a brief explanatory statement. This is not a new position. We're creating a new title. We're not hiring a new individual for this role. This is somebody who's already on staff. So there is no increase net to the budget for what we're doing here.
All right, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that ordinance number 26-8 be passed on the first reading and published in the Monday, June 15th, 2026 edition of the Bergen Record.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Tastian?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Banfield?
Yes.
All right, Mayor, ordinance number 26-9 is ready for first reading.
Will the Borough Clerk read ordinance number 26-9 by title only, please?
An ordinance of the Borough of Oradell amending Chapter 165 parking lots, municipal, specifically 165-10, regulations for municipal parking lot.
So the brief explanatory statement, this was a discussion we had at our last meeting where there seemed to be a disconnect in the ordinance for parking in the municipal lot adjacent Walgreens on Park Avenue. And this correction to the ordinance sets that straight where the time for overnight parking and resident parking has been addressed.
All right, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that ordinance number 26-9 be passed on first reading and published in the Monday, June 15th, 2026 edition of the Bergen Record.
Second.
We have a roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Tastian?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Banfield?
Yes.
All right, Mayor, I'd like to, ordinance number 26-10 is ready for first reading.
Will the Borough Clerk read ordinance number 26-10 by title only, please?
An ordinance of the Borough of Oradell establishing a joint land use board, amending Chapter 105 entitled Public Advocate for Zoning Board of Adjustment, Chapter 240 entitled Land Development, and Chapter 270 entitled Trees.
So the explanatory statement for this is that this ordinance will create a new joint land use board, replacing, my time up?
Sorry about that.
Replacing the current planning and zoning boards. They will finish out their calendars while this board is established, and new applications will come to this board if and when it is established.
All right, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that ordinance number 26-10 be passed on the first reading and published in the Monday, June 15th, 2026 edition of the Bergen Record.
Second.
We have a roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Tastian?
Yes.
Mr. Kern?
Yes.
Mr. Gullo?
Yes.
Ms. Hare?
Yes.
Mr. Banfield?
Yes.
Okay. This is now Roger's favorite part of the meeting. Would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. Mayor, well done today. 8:33.